Good. That's good. All right, good deal. All right, we'd like to call to order the May 4th, 2023 Daea Meeting. I'd like to begin with roll call.
Okay, President John Smoot. David Call.
Here.
Charity Fleur. Here. Sheriff Eggleton.
Here.
Nicholas King.
Here.
Brett Hodgson.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum present.
Next item on the agenda will be action on the April 6th, 2023 meeting minutes, which you all should have a copy of on your iPads, and were also emailed to you.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes as posted.
Have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item on our agenda is citizen concerns. Anyone from the public who wants to make a comment can step forward now to the mic. All comments should be directed at the agency. Please request to be recognized by the chairman of the agency prior to public comments. The public hearing is held to receive comments and is not a form of debate. Please limit comments to 5 minutes or less. State your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Benjamin King. I live at 28 Birdie Court, Poca, West Virginia. Bringing to the county's attention, when Mrs. Peck was down here in the office over dilapidated and abandoned structures, I live in a trailer park with dilapidated homes. Turned that into her. The paperwork must have got thrown away after she had left. Come back down, reported again. It's been about a 3-year process. I have an autistic son. The trailers, when I moved into the trailer park, I wasn't disclosed that one was a meth lab. You know, it's crazy. I lived there. I begged for the places to get taken care of. Gentleman come in after this board got onto him, smashed the places down, just left piles of rubble. You know what I mean? It's absurd that me, with a child with autism, that I pay $170 a month for rent. I can't let him outside because there's needles in the home. You know what I mean? And everything else. I brought that to everybody's attention when I come down here and I spoke to Mrs. Peck. I mean, I was made clean up a home in the county, and I'm on disability. I had a knot on the side of my neck. It was like a grapefruit. I was going to the cancer hospital over. I was still made clean up that property. I cleaned that property up, and it's good. But you got a landlord that can run 3 years, and he got multiple people that rent from him, that he's putting in liability.
Who's the landowner?
It was Early Investments. Charlie Johnson, I believe is his name. I'm over here in the courthouse right now having a fight with him because I have water leaks underground. I had process servers coming to deliver me summonses and stuff like that because of my kids. She was supposed to come and talk to the sheriff because there's so much water running down through there that she having to walk through it every time that she deliver it. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. It really is. I'm being evicted right now because of these water leaks under the ground. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The only thing I'm responsible for is what goes down the road with that mobile home whenever it moves. That's the only thing.
You own the mobile home, you rent the lot?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, he come in there and he cleaned up the 2 that he smashed down. There's still one over there on the other side of me, got the windows knocked out of it. You know, they're meth heads and stuff. I'm not sure what they are. Addicted folks going in and out of it. You know what I mean? And that was the reason I first called and come down here to the board here. Because, they come up there and they pulled a fugitive justice out of one of the places. I got a daughter. You know what I mean? I don't know what this guy's crimes were. You know, I want my kids to be safe. And it's been 3 years trying to do this. He has cleaned up the two that he smashed down and tore all to pieces. And it didn't happen until, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? That he cleaned them up. There's abandoned cars in the neighborhood. I mean, and I'm just complaining about what I have to put up with where I rent from. Because I can go right down the street and there are like 3 more homes that I could complain on. But it's not my problem. I don't have to put up with that directly of me paying $170 a month for just a slumlord. I mean, at that point, you're doing anything you can to get money out of folks and not have to fix what you've got going on. You know what I mean? And it's showed that for the past 3 years that he's allowed to run like this.
So the two, I was just out there the other day, I saw you out there, the two that have been removed, can you refresh my memory as to which ones they were?
It was, when you turn into that road there on Birdie Court, it was the second trailer.
Right,
The third trailer standing, I'm the fourth trailer.
right.
And it would have been the fifth trailer.
Okay. I have 25 Birdie Court, 14 Birdie Court, 36, and 42 are the 4 properties that are named in case 67.
That's probably right. And then
Yeah.
they got the one up there when you do turn in, the lady that lived there and she got evicted, there's windows busted in that place too, you know what I mean? And it's insecured. I mean, at any point in time, anybody that's got a backpack on it, wants a place to lay down, right there they can go in it. You know, it don't reveal to this situation, but I was just out to my home the other evening, Wednesday evening of last week. I went out to see why there's a car in front of my home, okay? I went outside to see why that is. Anybody has got that right. I go outside of my home and question what people's doing in my driveway, I get shot at, all right? 4 to 6 rounds shot at me, just questioning what someone's doing in my driveway at 10:30 at night. I got 2 kids I'm trying to raise in this county. I moved back from Pennsylvania here because of the cost of living, you know what I mean? And I'm doing everything I can. I've cleaned my property up. I've done everything I can, and it's overwhelming. It really is, you know what I mean? That you bring stuff to people and you expect it to be taken care of, and I don't know what, I'm not speaking of what happened with Mrs. Peck, but something happened there. You know, it's absurd to me. I watch all these county commission meetings because of the fact, you know what I mean? I'm disabled, I can't come in here all the time, you know what I mean? I was just luckily down here today for the hearing. I want to come and see when the time was to speak, you know, so it's crazy that landlords get to run the way they do in our county.
We appreciate that. This board appreciates that. And I think we have a case on these. So,
Yep.
well, as far as the sheriff's department go, we're investigating that shooting that you're talking about. I was informed about that. So we're looking into that. And you're right. I'm not going to sit here and say you're not right. I mean, you're right. There are places here in the county that need cleaned up. Your area is one of them. You know, and the sheriff's department is me. I've tried to do some, but it's very difficult. Very difficult.
Thing is, Sheriff, I'm not making excuses for nobody, but when you own so many companies in
I
this
understand. I know, Mr.
county,
Johnson.
and you got all this money,
Yeah.
and you just neglect to do it,
Yeah.
that's a smack in the person's face that's renting from you.
Yeah.
That's putting into your pocket every month, you know? And I literally was advised by legal aid to withhold money to pay my water bill because I was having $1,600 water bills and stuff, and now I'm evicted over it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's absurd to me that landlords are allowed to run the way they are in our county.
Yeah, and I have a question about that. So the water issues, that's from the water line under your mobile home?
I had the water line that come in from the mobile home, comes in, it comes out of the ground, it snakes across the ground because my hookup's on the other side of the mobile home where it comes out of the ground.
Yeah.
Underneath the ground, probably, I've got photos and stuff if you'd want to see them.
Yeah, if you can send them to me,
Yes,
that'd
sir.
be good. Because sometimes when I inspect mobile homes, I can't see it a lot
Right.
of the time, usually because of the underpinning.
Right. Where it popped out of the ground, it run probably about 2 to 3 feet and was leaking there. Once the landlord fixed that leak, I told him, I was like, there's multiple leaks, gotta be. Well, he fixed that leak there, and it's still bubbling out of the ground, just flowing, literally flowing. So he's like, well, maybe I got this leak here. So he digs up, pays the guy to dig up the ground there and fix the leak. And he's like, well, yeah, I did have a leak. Well, he writes me on the phone when I tell him that there's multiple leaks. He tells me, he says, yeah, there's one, we fixed multiple leaks of yours, but only one was mine was underground. I'm sorry, you supply me water to my home. The only thing I own is the home. You know what I mean? I rent the property from you, so you supply me water from point A to point B to where it hooks into my trailer. If anywhere in that line is a leak, that's not my responsibility. The only thing I own is that home. You know what I mean? When it goes down the road.
Well, we're looking into it. We've
Yep.
got a case number on it, so we'll see what we can do.
Yes,
We make
sir.
you no promises, but, you know, we can look
Buddy,
at it.
I don't hold my breath. you know
I
what
understand.
mean?
I totally
And
understand.
I've got the money almost completely up to get out of that trailer park. I'm hopefully out of it before I even have to go for the eviction.
Understand, sir.
I can't deal with it, you know what I mean? It's the safety risk to my family, the health hazard of the needles laying in the homes. You know, the other home that's standing there, the gentleman was taking pictures of yesterday, they're not even electric service in that home. All of it's, the wall's been beat out of it. It's like a meth house, you know what I mean?
Is that the one that had the black SUV in the drive?
No.
Okay.
That home there, he had took that from another family. I guess the fella had passed away and took the home from failure to pay. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I know that there's multiple vehicles. The one vehicle ain't even been licensed since, I think, 2011. You know what I mean? And just trying to get something done about it because I got a family I'm trying to raise. I once wasn't a great guy. I've tried to better myself and do better.
That's understandable.
And I'm trying to raise my family in the right statute, and it's been really, really hard.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
All right, we're going to move on to unfinished business. Mr. Fry will talk to us about Daea case 2022-16, 12657 Charleston Road in Red House.
Okay. This was just located across Panora River there. The building at one point was kind of over the road. It has been torn down with the exception of the lower portion of it. The owner of the property has got some stuff, personal items that are still located in that property. There was an order that was previously entered by the county commission directing that the planning office was to hire a contractor to have them go in, clean up the property, and then a lien be placed on the piece of property. He's been notified a couple of times by planning staff that he needs to get his property out of there so it can be demolished. I think members of the staff have gone over there and actually spoken to him about it. I think Mr. Call has been in contact with at least one, if not two contractors about going in and demolishing it. It may have to be put out to bid at this point. There's a $15,000 limit on what can be spent by the county before a bid has to go out. Mr. Hilty is the owner of it, and I think he has contacted the planning office indicating that he would like to have the opportunity to complete the demolition of the property rather than having a contractor go in. Since then, he has contacted the county commission's office and has asked to be put on the agenda so that he can ask the county commission to basically rescind their prior order for a contractor and to give him some additional time. So I think that's potentially on the agenda for Tuesday of next week. And there are photographs contained in the packet or probably on your iPads. Go ahead.
He wants additional time, and the time has expired. It's my opinion that he started this demolition and then stopped because it got over his head. The time that he gets is the time until we, my vote would be until we get somebody else to do it. If he wants to get it done, what's stopping him from doing it now? He doesn't need to come to the commission and say, hey, I need additional time. What are you doing today? What were you doing yesterday? This is an eyesore to everybody that drives by that every single day. If he's got stuff that he's storing in there, it's ruined. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, he's indicated to me that there's nothing in there that he wants.
He has until, I make a motion that he has until the time that we get a contractor to clean it up, to do it himself.
Like I say, I think it's on on the agenda for Tuesday, and we'll just have to wait and see what the county commission.
All right. I understand the county commission doesn't want to pay for something that a landowner can do, and I'm in favor of that, but I'm also in favor of, this thing's been sitting there for years, and it's become an eyesore, and now it's become a safety hazard, it's fallen in, so,
Well, the county commission has already entered an order authorizing contractors to be employed for that purpose.
Right.
So it's just an issue of,
if it takes $15,000 to clean it up, then we put a lien on the property and be done with it. I'll be at the commission meeting. Thank you, sir.
That's good. So what is your motion, Sheriff?
I think I'll rescind my motion, just to see, and we'll put it on hold until the commission meeting.
Okay, so we have a motion to table this discussion until after the county commission meeting for this coming Tuesday. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Next case is Daea Case 2022-66, 155 Skyrock Lane in Hurricane.
this case, the property owner is Patrick Setliff, and he was given 60 days to complete the cleanup. That time has passed as of March 31st, 2023. This discussion was tabled at the last meeting to allow collaboration between the sheriff, the Office of Planning and Infrastructure, and the Putnam County Health Department to see what could be done about the situation. There has been some improvement when staff went out there to view it. There has been some improvement there, and he does have garbage service there, trash service on the property. But there has been some movement, but it is still, as you can see from some of the photographs in your packet, there's still a lot of debris that is still there. There is also, as noted in your summary here, there's an old dilapidated building located on the property, but it was not part of the original complaint.
Do we know that if Mr. Setliff is living in that camper,
I couldn't hear you.
is he living in the camper?
My understanding is yes.
It is violation of county ordinance to live in a camper.
There,
But yeah, without a permit, and he has been issued his third notice, and it has been turned over to the prosecuting attorney that he is inhabiting a recreational vehicle without a permit. So that's in the prosecutor's hands right now. As Mr. Fry said, if you look at the photos, he obviously has made an effort to clean up the property. And we have confirmed that he does have trash pickup. We have yet to confirm that the trash has been picked up. But as Mr. Fry said, I went out there and looked just the other day and found this dilapidated house, as you can see in the photographs. That was not part of the complaint. And this house it's totally unsecured, literally fallen down. So I think the board should address that as well.
I think we have to, since that wasn't a part of the initial complaint, we're going to have to file another complaint
Agreed.
to look at the permanent structure. And then I think the health department needs to look at that and see where the sewage is going from that camper.
Yeah. This is as far as I know, because I tried to find some documentation, at least using the address, Skyrock Lane, and couldn't find anything approved by the health department over there. Probably, I don't even know if there's a toilet in that cabin. We know, at least when we first got the complaint, his system for doing it was definitely not an approved sewer system from us. And that's the health department's issue with Setliff. And on November 4th last year, I gave him a 30-day notice to submit an application to install a sewer system that meets design standards, and we never got an application, so I was going to put a complaint in to the sheriff's department. And I do have a copy of everything I gave him, including an installer list and what codes he violated.
I spoke to the prosecutor's office. Is this a gentleman that keeps his complaints or his tickets and puts them
Yes.
on the wall?
Yes.
I've spoken to the prosecutor's office, and they're not sure what, Larry, you may be able to help. They're not sure what they can do. Violations of county ordinances don't fall in. I talked to Chris about it, and she was looking for something to maybe charge him with, but was kind of at a standstill there, so. I don't know if the board can request a court order to have him do this stuff. And then if he violates the court order, I mean, is that something that's possible?
That's something probably the prosecutor's office would have to handle. As a county commission, I don't know that they can do anything. It would probably have to be something prosecutor's office would have to ask for it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're in discussion with the prosecutor's office about this. So.
Okay.
He's made an effort, and you know, you got 3 years dealing with this gentleman here. He's made an effort at this point, so that's better than nothing. But it's still an open case, and I would say we put this on hold until the prosecutor's office finds us another way to address it.
I did contact waste management. He is current on service. He is continuing to do service. And, you know, waste management only takes so many bags per household, so, I think that we could give him a little more time to get the trash and stuff in the next service.
So, Sheriff, remind us again of what your motion would be.
To table this until further action is directed by the prosecutor's office.
Okay. We have a motion. Can we get a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Next case is Daea Case 2023-03, 15059 Charleston Road in Red House.
Right. Haven't been able to contact the property owner on this one. Certified letter was sent, or certified letters have been sent. They've been returned. They recently sent another certified letter to a different address. This address is 15059, and they sent it to 15057 Charleston Road, and they're waiting on a response from that. The property appears to be occupied, but they haven't been able to make contact with anybody there. The summary indicates that the next option may be for the sheriff or for us to use the sheriff's department to have a process server go out and personally serve the person.
I went by there myself, Larry, in the past, since our last meeting, because I drive by there quite a bit, and knocked on the door myself, walked around it, nobody would come to the door for me either. There was a car there, and it appeared to be occupied, but nobody would come to the door. So we can try to do a process, but if they won't come to the door with me, they probably won't come to the door with them either. So, but we can attempt that.
So would you care to make a motion?
I make a motion we to pass that process on to the Sheriff's Department process serve with an attempt to serve them that way.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Next case is Daea Case 2023-04, 1201 Hedrick Road, Scott Depot.
All right. The summary indicates that the signature card has been returned to the planning office. Previously, Sheriff Eggleton had agreed to send notice to the property owners about the non-functioning vehicles that are located on the property, and any further discussion was tabled at the last meeting.
Obviously, he's in violation of the law, the state law, but the number of the vehicles, as you can tell by the photographs, is past the limits of our financial ability to tow all those vehicles. So you can see there, I'm at a loss with a lot of this stuff too. So, yeah. I don't know what motion we would take with this. I can't have 100 vehicles taken off of a guy's property. The sheriff's department doesn't have the budget for that, so. I don't know.
They are all licensed.
I mean,
They appear to be.
I can get in touch with the police department and with the DEP and see if they have any funding, any sheriff's assistance with this. We can give them an opportunity to either help it out themselves, they can go into a recycling facility and cash it in, or if the DEP does it, or if the city does it.
If the DEP will help, that'd be great, because there's all kinds of places like that. Now, the individual out on Coal Mountain there, we've got involved with them, and I've got a private contractor, I've got contact with them to try to get these people to help them clean it up, because you can make money on this stuff, and it don't cost you anything. But to do nothing, I think and I've got a court order coming his way, so he can either one way, and this guy could be the same way, you can make money and clean it up, or you can cost you money not. So if you could contact them and see if the REAP program could help us out, I think that's.
So, Charity, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I move that we contact REAP with the DEP, see if they have any funding that we can utilize in this project, and give the property owner a chance to clean it up, and if they don't, then the DEP will go in and pull it out.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Would anyone like to second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
What's the landowner's name? Larry, you know the landowner's name on that one?
No.
Hang on,
On 1201 Hedrick? You just-
okay, I will. I have it here in the files. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, moving on to new business now. Daea case 2023-06. That's 680 Dairy Road in Poca.
All right, the summary indicates that a letter was sent by certified mail, but it was sent to the wrong person. It has been inspected by this planning staff as of 4/13/23, and taxes have been paid on the property, but we apparently have not been able yet to notify the property owner.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we have yet to receive the green card back from the owner, the board can take no action. Is that correct? Yeah.
I make a motion, we table that until service is made.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Next case is Daea case 2023-07, 5684 Tays Valley Road, Scott Depot.
The green card has been returned on that one as of April the 25th. It was inspected by the staff on April the 10th. Taxes have been paid on it. The property owner is Derek Courtwright. Apparently, Mr. Courtwright is not willing to clean up the property, alleges that his neighbor dumps.
Hang on. I'm sorry, Larry. Sorry, to I think you jumped ahead to 08.
Oh, I did? Okay.
Yeah, we're still in 07.
Oh, I did. This case, the resignature card has been returned, it has been inspected, taxes have not been paid on this property, but as a result of the inspection, it appears that the property owner is attempting to clean up the property.
I think we got a photograph there of them trying to clean it up right there, so.
Yeah, I was out there when they were cleaning it up that day. So they are certainly making effort. However, I was out a few days ago, and there are a lot of automobiles on the property. They all appear to be functional, but,
You know, I don't know what happened to that. You know, I used to live right there. That's right beside Saddle Downs, isn't it?
yeah.
I used to live in Saddle Downs, and that used to be a good property. I don't know what happened there.
There's another wagon full of trash that they're hauling away, or attempting to. But there are a lot of vehicles, every time I come by there, that are parked there. But it does
I
appear
pulled in
like,
that driveway, and the thing, and I see that right there, that most of those vehicles are licensed and current. So I really don't know what's going on with that place.
Big household.
Well, I don't
could
know
be,
if it's that.
a lot of cars.
Health Department, see that swimming pool? See the swimming pool in there?
I don't have the pictures on
I
this
think
one.
that falls under you.
Look, you can look on your iPad there,
Look
Nick.
on the
under,
iPad, and you'll see a swimming pool.
Yeah, I just had the.
That's a
okay.
health hazard for the health department. Am I correct by saying that?
Six eight. Oh, okay. This is above.
Hayes Valley Road. You were on,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a band's. Going off the top of my head, if Chapter 16 of West Virginia Code says anything about it, I'll look into that. I'm gonna make a note real quick, so we put this on health space. That mosquito complaint. Yeah, because usually when the health department gets these kind of complaints, it's kind of like a Daea complaint, where you use the property and have them empty or destroy the pool. To prevent water from accumulating, allowing mosquitoes to clog the place up. I had a similar issue come up, but it was more sewer related because it was a home install. And what they did was they dug a hole, put a tank in, didn't bury it. So it floated and you basically had a 500-gallon plastic boat filled with mosquitoes.
So, are you intending to go out and take a look at the pool?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in as a mosquito complaint. And telling me or Destiny, we'll check it out next week.
Would you like to make a motion?
table it until inspection.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll make a motion to table this until after the health department inspects this property.
Very good. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay? The ayes have it. Motion carries.
And, just to be sure, this is the 911 address of the property, right?
5684?
Yes.
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know where Saddle Downs is?
You can't miss
Scott
it.
Depot. Saddle
Yeah.
Downs, Johnson's Place. The entrance to that, it's the residence just beside it. Can't miss
Okay.
it.
Yep, can't miss it. Okay, next case is Daea case 2023-08, 3655 Buff Creek Hurricane.
All right, this is one I started on a bit earlier. Property owner has been notified. We've gotten a return receipt card back on it. Property owner is Derek Courtwright. Mr. Courtwright has been spoken to. He's not willing to clean up the property. He says that some of the garbage that belongs there is actually from his neighbor who dumps it on his property. but Mr. Courtwright is not willing to do anything to clean up the
Is that
property.
Derek Courtwright the attorney?
Excuse me?
Is that the attorney, Mr. Courtwright?
His brother.
It's his brother. Okay.
Now, I believe sorry to interrupt, Larry, but I believe Derek Courtwright is the gentleman I've talked to. Derek said his father actually owns the property, but Derek was calling in for his father, who is elderly and unable to talk to us. But as you see, if you scroll on down, you see that the residence here is quite dilapidated. The whole end of the structure is gone. And as Mr. Fry indicated, the owners are not interested in spending any money to clean the property up.
Make a motion, we send this to the commission for further action.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next case is Daea Case 2023-11, 87 2nd Avenue, Bancroft.
And on this one, although the staff report indicates that they're waiting on returns receipt card, that was actually received in this morning's, well, it was received as of this morning. So the property owner has been notified. Taxes have not been paid on the property. The complaint is for an unoccupied mobile home and that the underpinning is in disrepair. There appears to be electrical service. Required repairs and cleanup appear to be minimal. Per James Pickren, he purchased the property in March of 2022. His brother's been living in the property, and then he moved away and left everything behind. Mr. Pickren has given his brother until August of this year to remove these things that are left behind, and then he plans to remove the mobile home from the piece of property.
Make a motion, we give him until August to remove the property.
We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Let's move on to Daea Case 2023-12, 613 3rd Avenue, Bancroft.
Complaint came in on this one on April the 24th. It was inspected the same day. They're waiting on a return signature card, and taxes have not been paid on this piece of property. The complaint was initially for unoccupied mobile home, no utilities in the mobile home, inoperative automobiles all around, automotive smells from the property, motor oil on the ground, and polluted runoff emptying into 2 drop inlets adjacent to the property. Same James Pickren claimed that he purchased the property in December of 2021, though there is no recorded deed that indicates that the property has been purchased and it is now in his name. Mr. Pickren is afraid to move the mobile home in question as he is not sure of the ownership and he cannot find the title to the mobile home.
I spoke to the mayor's office about this one, since we also, I think that was called in our office. The current owner is doing a land sale with Mr. Pickram, and so ownership is something that they're between the two, one says the other, so it's back and forth. They have been contacted by the mayor's office to get their vehicles off the road, because that has been a hazard previously.
I can send them a letter about the vehicles, so if you'll forward that to me, I'll address the unlicensed, unregistered vehicles.
Okay, and since we do not have the return card, I believe that's the extent that we can.
We have to table
do
it
with
until
that,
the
right.
process is served.
But I will forward that information to you, Mr. Sheriff. All right, that being said, staff report, anything to report, Mr. Fry?
The only thing I can report, obviously at the last meeting, we lost Mr. Smith. Since then, a new employee has come back to us. She was here for, 10 years, left for a short period of time, and so she's been able to come in, basically hit the ground running. This is not a new position for her. She's taking over. Most of the day of work that's being done at this point is being done by Mr. Call. He is in the process of trying to hire another planner. Hopefully, the new planner will be able to take that load off of his shoulders, as well as some of the other things in the office that need to be done. I didn't introduce, this is Judy Grayley. For those of you who do not know her, she's been here for a long time, and like I say, she knows what she's doing, so the transition has been very smooth. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else.
Thank you, Mr. Fry. I appreciate your time. With that being said, I'd like to request a motion to adjourn.
I make that a motion?
Have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Our next meeting will be June the 1st. Thursday, June the 1st, 10 a.m. Thanks, everybody.
I understand. Take these to the commission. Come to the commission. Larry, when's next? I understand. Tuesday. Tuesday? Tuesday at 5.